welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about Tesla. We're going to look at the daily chart, the weekly chart. Basically we look at the charts to give us a little bit of an edge. It helps us identify where price is going to go in the short term, long term. It helps us remain calm when markets are choppy. It helps us know when we've got a good price, when we can get good risk reward entries and then de-risk as things get a little bit spicy. Other than that, we're going to take a look at the short and long dated open options interest. That gives us a little bit of an insight in what the big boys in the market are doing. We're going to look at the Tesla news, see what's coming on the horizon. Is it exciting? Is there some bad news coming? All that good stuff. Other than that, though, if you can't be bothered to stick around for the main content of this video, I'm still super bullish on Tesla, and that's pretty much the key takeaway. Other than that, my live portfolio there is linked in the description below, and I've chucked it up on the screen there for you. Doing pretty good for the last 2 years there.
Price action for Tesla then. So a bit bearish. We've fallen down kind of 28%. Not too alarming in the grand scheme of things. It's not a shocking size move, especially for a company like Tesla. But I mean, the more concerning thing is now that we're kind of at a historical support level, resting just on that bull market band, which is very thin, so it's not going to offer too much support. And this volume shelf here is also very thin. We'll take a look at the open options interest after and see what the market makers are thinking. But I think if it's very clear that we're going to get more downside, the only real support below is this kind of Fibonacci level at 314. Then we've got some historical support here at 288, but really the volume doesn't kick in till right down here at 248. Honestly, I would love for Tesla to be 240 again this year before, you know, moving through 2025. I think it's going to be a very choppy year. There's a lot going on, a lot of products coming out, a lot of scaling up. So costs are going to be a lot higher. Conviction might waver. Probably going to see a lot of capitulation, especially if sentiment around Elon keeps as it is, but I suspect as Doge starts doing its job and the US can sort out its debt, then opinions might change more publicly on that one, which will be fun to see. And obviously the sentiment there will be positive for Tesla. But resistance to the upside, again, we're probably going to be 400 is going to be a sticking level. It's such a shame that didn't hold. It was a really good psychological level, and above that, kind of 434. RSI, though, it's getting a little bit down in the dumps. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Tesla doesn't like staying too low here for too long. It much prefers being hot and spicy. Again, we can see here, I trimmed a little bit on these peaks. I should have trimmed more. I should have been more risk averse after this, but I did trim quite a lot down here at kind of 350, thinking cooler heads would prevail. I have started to scale back in, though. I do see some potential for a reversal soon in Tesla. MACDX Plus, institutions kind of fairly well here. We'll take a look at the Fintel numbers as well, because the big boys are still buying Tesla as much as everyone's saying they hate Tesla, it's going to die, it's going to zero. Not many people have got much interest in shorting it. The short interest is still super low. And if people are so annoyed at Elon that they want to sell me a cheap Tesla, they can go ahead and do that. Email me. I'm in the market for a new car. Banker flow looks kind of not great, but let's take a look at the weekly. Okay, weekly again with this cup and handle. I still think we've overshot it a little bit. I think it'll be clearer if we looked at the monthly chart. We'll take a look at that after. But the measured move I stuck on here gets us to, ironically, 666, which would be another monumental number for Tesla to hit. Now, my kind of year-end target I put at the top, $500 to $700. It's going to be super difficult to model out for Tesla. There's just so many unknowns, so many variables, so many kind of option plays on the future. The bots, it's not even worth trying to put them in a model because it just gets crazy. But even just with energy growing as well as it is, FSD, the Tesla Semi, well, personally for me, I don't have enough data to confidently say accurately, and I hate it. I was hoping in the earnings there would be more data, especially on the affordable car, so I could make a more accurate model, but really there was nothing. That's probably been done as to not cannibalize the Model Y sales, but it's still a little bit annoying when we see it. Take a quick look at the monthly though, so you can see that cup and handle a little bit easier. Here we go. So kind of you put the edge there where price kind of was bouncing off. It couldn't close over. So we're a little bit under it. Not the end of the world. I guess technically you could also do a slightly tilted top to it if you wanted to be. I love this pattern. So yeah, this is kind of where I would expect to see Tesla maybe in a year or slightly more than a year, depending on sentiment for this one. Again, sentiment is going to be the key driver on this one. Okay, open options interest on Tesla. We've got the resistance at 400, lots of strike volume there. I mean, this one, market makers don't really need to worry about selling it at this level because I don't think Tesla's going to get here in a week with sentiment being so down in the gutter. However, there's a lot of volume at this 350 strike. Now, market makers are currently trying to buy and keep price above this. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for them, I think, given the sentiment around Tesla right now. So whilst in theory, normally we do get a bounce at these levels where we see a lot of buying coming in, I think we could end up breaking this one and moving down slightly. The next large shelf is at kind of 300, but that's only for this week. So if you push it out a week, again, 350, the kind of stickler, and 300, but interest sort of wanes after that. So not a whole lot of sell pressure in the derivatives market. That doesn't mean that people won't continue to close their positions in Tesla because they think they hate Elon. Whatever. I don't want to get all political with that. I think sentiment changes drastically and it's probably going to be completely different in 6 months' time as well. But the 400 resistance still, that one's going to be a really tough one if we do manage to break to the upside. So my gut on this is we get a lot of chop until something big comes out for Tesla, especially in the short term. Again, 400, a lot of volume there, and 350 to kind of 330. So I think a little bit more downside maybe, but certainly we won't be breaking 400 anytime soon. Let's go out to the end of 2026 when it loads. Pull this down. So a fair amount of bearishness here, but mainly a lot of the volume is spread kind of between 300 and 550. I suspect there might be some higher up, but the tool always lags. I hate this app. Why is it so laggy? Not too much higher above, but let's put it out to June 2027. I think a lot of people will be looking at longer dated options on Tesla purely because of the short-term risks associated with Elon. When it loads. Any day now. This app, I love it, but it's just super laggy considering it's something I pay for. It's a bit annoying. So, as we just mentioned, a lot of people are giving Tesla more time, looking further ahead. So 650, 700 for June 2027, which is the high end of my price range for closing out 2025. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Tesla news, so much news going around. There's so much Elon news as well. We're not going to really touch on the Doge or any of the political stuff. We're just going to talk mainly what directly impacts the company and also a little bit of the OpenAI beef because I thought that was more interesting. Although my first kind of news pick for the day was Hallmark's catalog. He posts some great content. Tesla is a car company in the same way that Apple is a telephone company and Google is a library. Couldn't have said it better myself. I've been saying that for about a year and finally Wall Street are starting to switch over and build into their models a lot of this future growth, which is great to see. Sawyer Merritt's been posting so much good stuff lately. It's been hard to keep track of. He just put on there the new supercharger stalls in the US. Tesla can do them for 40 to 45k. I think that got confirmed at about 40k from other sources, which is 80% less than competition. Now, I first thought that was a bit of a stretch. There's no way they can be that much cheaper. But then I did find Sawyer Merritt's post about the New York Green Bank signed a $60 million deal with Revel, or however you say it, Revel, to build 267 additional charging stalls at the cost of $225,000. That is criminal. That is extreme overpaying. I'd like to see their margins on those. Other than that, though, we've got the kind of the Megapack factory started to produce some of its goods. That's going to double the Megapack capacity to 20,000 annual units, I believe. So that's upwards of an additional $80 billion, I think it was at the last read. Bear in mind the energy margins for energy are 25%. You do the math on that. That one's going to be pretty tasty in the future. So OpenAI, this all comes off the back of kind of Sam Altman wanting to spend $40 billion to buy this particular part of OpenAI, which is the non-profit, which is a bit sus because that seems very undervalued. So actually Musk put in an offer for, did I write it down? Oh, it's on the picture there, $97 billion. And the fact that Sam just come out and said, no, the board will reject that is a bit of a confirmation that, you know, he's a crook, basically. I don't think anything's going to come of this deal. The whole thing is kind of meant to prove that Sam is out just to get control of it, and it's for the money. He wants to buy it cheap so he can do what he wants with it, and all that devious stuff. It's basically Musk getting Altman to admit that it's never been a non-profit. It's always been manipulated. So I guess this, in a way, would be kind of corporate misconduct, but I don't think anything will happen of it. But it's nice to see Sam just coming out and confirming things for a change instead of dodging it like he normally does. No doubt Elon will be spun as a bad guy for this. I can see it already in the headlines. Elon wants to repeat the Twitter scandal and be forced to buy OpenAI. This isn't a deal offering. This is just kind of a nothing burger, in my opinion. He won't be forced into this because nothing's been agreed. He can't back out of it because our Altman's already said nothing's happening, and the board, as far as I'm aware, haven't agreed to any conversations with Musk. But, you know, maybe that changes in the future, but for now this is just Musk sticking it to Altman.
That's us all done and dusted for another Tesla Tuesday wrap-up. If you enjoyed this content, give the video a like, share it with your mum, your nan, your dog, your dad, whoever, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.